everyone, welcome to the Support the Spectrum channel. My name is Ryann Sutera. If you are new here, I'm a neurodiversity affirming speech language pathologist and owner of Support the Spectrum. Today we're going to be answering a question that I get asked all the time. How can I help my learner finish their homework without a battle, without it taking hours? Most of our clients and learners here are neurodivergent in some way, but the tools that we're going to be talking about today can be used for any learner. If you are used to providing maximal support for your learner while they're doing their homework, this video is for you. There are 3 powerful tips that you can start using today that I guarantee will help with this process. Number 1 is really consider the environment in which you are doing the homework. Number 2, letting your learners make their mistakes fully before you correct them. And number 3, encouraging effort over accuracy. And I'll share some bonus strategies on the end too. So let's start with environment. It plays a greater role on our cognition than most people consider, and there can be a lot of hidden complications with the environment you choose to do homework in. So for some learners, it's that the environment is too comfortable, right? They're used to going to an environment like a school where they're in that place and their nervous system is in a state of learning, of absorbing information, trying to attend. It really is a whole different mode that the nervous system is in that environment. They're also surrounded by people who are doing similar things, so it can be influencing how their brain is actually working in that moment. We are very social creatures. We're also very sensitive to our energy around us. So, of course, someone is more likely to be productive, more likely to attend to tasks, more likely to try new things and really learn. The process of true learning is sometimes making mistakes, right? If everyone else around them is doing it, if the lights are bright and maybe the seat's a little uncomfortable, they're not slouching back, and there's a lot of things to consider about the school environment. But when they get home, assuming they do their homework at home, it could be too comfortable, which sounds wild, but it's true. It could be sitting in a beanbag chair that makes their nervous system go into a type of sleepy state or relaxed state, and they might be switching into a mode where they're truly comfortable. They have their favorite foods there, their favorite people there, their beloved pet, something like that. And it quite literally is influencing their ability to take in new information, be scientific and try new things and explore learning. So think about your learner as a nervous system first, right? Think about what environments are going to signal to the brain that it is time to do some work. So I was inspired to make this video from a comment that I actually got yesterday where a caregiver explains that they were giving maximal support to their learner during homework time and it was taking way too long and they needed some help. So my suggestion was thinking of a setting that could set that learner up for success. My suggestion was to go to the library, maybe right after school, going to the library and explaining to the learner on the way there, hey, we're going to this place to get our homework done. You know, there we have to be kind of quiet and we're going to be sitting in a nice, wooden table, whatever they have at the library. And if we get everything we need to get done, then we can pick out a book or a movie at the end and maybe read that or watch that on Friday night or whatever, okay, whatever works best for your family. Now, that is not always an accessible thing in people's lives. Some people don't live close to a library. Some people don't have the time. They have other children. So I completely understand. That's just one example. If you could fit that type of setting, environment into your life, then obviously that is something I would suggest. Let's say that the learner does not like this new environment. It's not going well at first, right? I just want to go home. Mom, why are we home? I just want to go home. I want to see Bradley, the dog. I don't know. And you have to really be firm with boundaries in this. And I always suggest, if you're switching up any type of routine, give it a few months and explain, we're going to do this until the homework is done. Then we get to go home. So let's just get it done. We're going to do this for 3 months. And if you can show me that you can do this for 3 months, then we can go home. But if things start to slip, if homework is taking too long at home, then we are going to have to come back and do this. I think involving the learner in the plan as much as possible and increasing as much predictability as possible is so important for the nervous system. So there is something to consider there. Also, some other examples of environments could be going to a grandparent's house or going to a different spot in your home, setting it up to be a learning environment as much as it can. So for some learners, it's too comfortable. For some learners, it's too uncomfortable. Perhaps there are really bright lights, there's background noises and distractions. There could be a whole host of sensory reasons why it might not be an ideal learning space for your learner, and it's something to really consider. Also, your presence could be helping in the sense of body doubling. Let's say you were working on something as they were working on something. That might be really nice. Giving encouragement as they go along, which we'll talk about how to give proper encouragement in a moment. Or maybe your presence is heightening. Maybe it's taking out of a learning mode and heightening into a play mode or comfort mode. So maybe just explain to the learner, I'm here if you need me. I will be in the other room. Please at least have an attempt before you come and get me. So you're encouraging independence. So take the time to consider the environment that your learner is doing their homework, and also if you need any help finding sensory items that could aid in that process, Support the Spectrum does have a free Google Doc with links to various sensory items. They are in my bio on all my social medias. Okay, moving on to number 2. So important, you guys. Let your learners make mistakes before you correct it, okay? And I'll just start off with an example. Let's say that your learner is tasked with writing 3 sentences about whatever they read, right? You're going to let them be as independent with those 3 sentences as possible. You're going to let them make spelling mistakes, grammatical mistakes. You're just going to let them try, and you're going to fully let them finish before you say, oh, great, you did not give up. That is so amazing. Let's go back and make it finished. Let's think about it. And even then, let's say they didn't start their sentences with capital letters. You're guiding as much as possible, promoting independence as much as possible, saying things like, I know there's something you're supposed to do at the beginning of sentences. Like something just doesn't look right. What do you think that we do with the first letter of our sentences? Let's say they're typing even, and when you type something incorrectly and the red squiggly comes underneath of it, you could say, okay, we just say that get rid of the squigglies. There's just one letter that's off in this word. What do you think it could be? Let's sound it out. What sound does that letter make? What sound does this letter make? So it's, promoting as much independence as possible. Now I'll tell you the reason that we do this, right? The way that your brain works is that every single time you are saying something, doing something, performing a motor movement, your brain is fulfilling a series of neural pathways, right? It is following all the synapses and neurons and traveling all over the brain. Woo! You want to let the brain do that to completion, to formulation and execution before you make any type of correction. If you are, let's say the brain's going, I'm writing my sentence, and you say stop, that's incorrect. Obviously, I'm using a tone for dramatic effect, but even if you're like, hey, that's wrong, you need to do that. What you're doing is you're stopping their natural neural pathway, and you could be increasing anxiety. Okay? When you increase anxiety, you are taking away from the learning experience. You are putting the nervous system in a survival state. Those words seem dramatic, but it's really not. It's just what happens, It could be very slight, but that might be why certain things are taking longer, because it's becoming an anxious situation to perform a learning task. Even if it's, a math problem. Listen, I used to get so dysregulated about math. I didn't need anyone else to add to the anxiety of that or stop me in the middle of a thought when I'm flowing. You have to let that neural pathway and that natural learning happen and then go back and correct. And that leads us to our last, number 3. We are encouraging rather than providing praise. So this one is really on the caregiver, on the teacher, on the person helping the learner with the homework. It's really on you to, instead of trying to praise accuracy, you're really trying to promote independence by encouraging effort. So the learner's on their flow state, right? They're flowing, they're struggling, but they're learning at the same time. And they get to the end of their homework and you say, wow, I am so impressed that you did not give up. Are you proud of the effort that you did? Are you proud of the work that you did? Making sure to ask them how they're feeling about the work that they've done, and also making sure that you are encouraging, again, the effort, the work that they did, because it is a big deal to get something done where you're confused the whole time. Now, accuracy obviously matters. I'm not trying to say accuracy does not matter, but accuracy can always be fixed retroactively in the state of homework, right? But effort and promoting effort is a lifelong skill that we really should all be doing as educators. And you can do this intermittently too. Let's say they were really, really stuck on one problem. You can say, I see that problem was really tricky for you. Way to hold out, way to get through it. In the case of your learner not enjoying encouragement, thinking it's annoying, because that is true too. Some learners really do not want to hear anything from their caregivers or people assisting them as they're working. A simple nonverbal communication behavior is a perfect way to let their nervous system know this is going well without alarming your nervous system. This works particularly well for our learners who are pathologically demand avoidant. It doesn't feel like you're taking away their autonomy if you are just simply giving them a thumbs up. And when you encourage these things, resilience builds, and over time, resilience and persistence means way more in this world than anything else. I think most adult people know that, right? Okay, so those were those 3 main tips. So important. Try them out. Let me know if they're working for you and leave it in the comments below. Now we're going to talk about some bonus strategies. So here are some other things that can help. Number 1 is break big tasks into chunks. Obviously, big assignments can feel overwhelming. But if you say something like, okay, do the first 3 problems, then we'll take a break, then we'll do the next 3, stuff like that. Number 2 is use movement as a tool. Many people are kinesthetic learners. They feel so much better when they're walking and learning, or they get a break where they get to run around, bouncing on a ball or trampoline, swinging on a swing. Movement helps our nervous system. Even doing some jumping jacks or some squats can be very, very regulating for our learners. So planning in like a 2-minute stretch time or 2 minutes of whatever preferred movement is really, really smart. Number 3 goes into promoting predictability, like we talked about before. So setting start and finish times. So if your learner knows we start homework at 4 o'clock every day, we're going to do really focused work for a solid half an hour. Then we're going to take 5 minutes. It could be a solid work for 20 minutes. Whatever your learner needs. You can really kind of assess that as it's going, see what works, change it up. But make sure you are telling that learner at all times and updating them the plan so that their nervous system can feel relaxed with predictability. Okay, you guys, I really hope that these strategies work for you. Homework does not have to be a daily struggle. If there are other concerns that you are still experiencing, please leave them in the comments below or message me on my website. I would absolutely love to help you. Good luck this school year, and thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Send this video to whoever needs to hear this information, and I will see you in the next one.